Scene 2, take 1. Hi guys and welcome back to the Geek Street podcast where the street speaks. So we are excited to be here today because sorry, I never introduced myself. Of course, all this started from Loki and wait, Gada. Should I say spoiler? Spoiler alert.
Okay. No, but
Oh, now my stomach hurts. Okay, let's finish this so I can go.
I need to go back.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Geek Street podcast where the street speaks. My name is Jess, and I have my buddies over here. We have Sean, Eric, and Harvin. Say hi, guys.
Hello guys.
Hello.
Hello. So this has been an interesting week for us. As you all know, What If Episode 1 just came out, titled What If Captain Carter Were the First Avenger? So we are going to be breaking down this episode scene by scene. We are going to be discussing the visuals, the story arc, the Easter eggs, theories, and other unmentioned things in the episode. So, major spoiler alert, if you guys haven't watched this episode yet, please make sure to watch it before you watch our show over here. And without wasting further time, let's jump into What If Captain Carter Were the First Avenger? So, Marvel's What If Episode 1 begins with the Marvel logo, the mandatory Marvel Studios logo. But the thing is, this one has a different take to it because when the logo comes in, it slowly changes to an animated style. So this actually signifies that we are in the same universe, we are still in the MCU. It's just that this one is portrayed in a different platform, which is an animated platform. So the first person that speaks in the intro is the Watcher. So as you all know, the Watcher is voiced by Jeffrey Wright. So Jeffrey Wright is an actor who acted in the Hunger Games Mockingjay. He also acted in Westworld as a scientist. A very good actor with a very good voice. So I guess a perfect fit for the role of the Watcher. So he begins by saying, talking about time, space, and reality. So because Loki just finished, and that actually opens up to the multiverse. So this is the perfect time to speak about these kind of things. And he mentions about alternate worlds, where previously in Loki we know that time runs in a linear path. It runs in a loop, right? So they were avoiding the branch. But now we are talking about after the branch. Now there's every single decision made creates a new world. So remember previously we spoke, we were asking the question whether whenever a decision is made, is it an alternate reality or an alternate universe? So I can say it's an alternate universe because he mentions about different worlds. So more about the Watcher. If you guys know that this is not the first time we've seen the Watcher. The Watchers were actually teased in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the part when they're jumping through space. They pass by a group of Watchers with Stanley, talking to them. So there were rumors going on that Stanley is actually working for the Watcher, or he is part of the Watcher. So a little bit more into the Watcher. Would you guys want to break down more about who is the Watcher?
Yeah, we know that the Watcher's name is Uatu. If I'm pronouncing right, I think it's Uatu. He's like the main, like I would say maybe the boss level of the Watcher. Like he's the main one. Maybe he's sending the other Watchers to look over. Just so you all know, the Watcher isn't one. It's like the whole group of Watchers where they look at So I say the Uatu is like the main version of the Watcher. Then and also a good Easter egg is that all the lines that he says, like about the alternate realities. The opening intro when he says, the big stuff like that. It's actually borrowing a lot of the dialogues from the comics itself. From it's like all like copy paste dialogues from the comics. So it's a great nod to that. And Jeffrey Wright, his voice is I know you could feel like as if the Watcher is real in existence. Like you can feel when he talks about it. So it's really great. And also like how Jess said, the Stanley thing also, I feel like the Watchers, yeah, I think it's already canon that Stanley is actually the messenger of the Watcher, where when the Watchers couldn't do their job, so they sent Stanley to go look after these people and see what they're doing and everything. That's how we got all the cool cameos of the great Stanley. So yeah, that's what I feel about the Watcher.
And I also like the way how they introduce the Watcher. Like he's here to tell us stories about decisions, like how a decision changes. Like that's just his job. That's just his job to us. Like just tell us a story. When we first heard What If, we're like, it's gonna be like a normal series, where they're just gonna show like different universe. But this time they made it different. They made it in a way like someone's telling us a story. Like, okay, if this decision was made, this is what happens. This is the outcome. So it's kind of nice to see how the Watcher plays the biggest part in What If instead of the characters.
Yeah, I also like the Watcher in terms of when at the ending he says that he cannot and will not, and I forgot what the other word, but he like they won't interfere lah. Yeah.
I cannot, I will not. And why is it I should not? No.
I must not. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, something along those
I
lines.
shall not. Oh.
Yeah, something along those lines. But it's good that how they already established the Watcher character. So moving forward, we will see how it actually I think we will see it from that how to say in eagle eyes perspective lah, maybe, yeah. So I think it was a very good and Jeffrey Wright is so amazing in his narration and his voice. I think when I watched it, I felt goosebumps. Like somebody like give me sort of like a Darth Vader sort of feel when he talks a little bit. Yeah. So I think that was really nice.
Yeah, his voice was damn nice.
Yeah.
And also, like a touch upon the intro when Jess was talking about, you all could see when he was talking about the intro, you could actually see the timeline branching out. You could, as if it's almost as similar to the timeline branching out from the Loki episode. So you could actually safely say that it's all this is already happening as soon as the timeline started branching out. That's why I think they waited for Loki to finish so that they could drop What If, so that everything could play out, people could understand what's going on. But it's actually important for people to know that What If is canon to the MCU. So whatever is playing out is real life. It's actually live action. It's just it's in an animated form. So the possibilities of the characters from What If, they can actually bring it to live action. So it's very important for you all to not think that maybe this What If is just a one-off series. It's not connected. They're just doing this for fun. No, it's canon. So all the cool stuff we could hope to pop out in the live action movies one day.
Actually, before we jump into like the breakdown of episode 1, right? I just thought about this. Like seriously, I thought about this. Like, we know Kang now is introduced, and he is he who remains, and he's controlling the sacred timeline per se, and now it's all chaos, right?
Mhm.
So who is the Watcher to Kang? Is Watcher the boss of Kang, or is the Watcher friends with Kang, or now they're like enemies because like Kang kind of like created chaos in a way, and multiverse and stuff. So like, before multiverse even started, who was the Watcher? What was the Watcher? Like, did he like kind of like exist before the multiverse came out, or he was just like looking over that one sacred timeline which Kang was actually the boss of? Like,
Okay, the Watcher is actually way beyond Kang, I would say, because if you look at it, Kang is a human who from the 31st century, and he found out there are multiverses, and there are alternate versions, and he took care of his universe aside from the other universes. But the Watcher is above that hierarchy, who watches on all of these universes. So each gang runs a universe. The Watcher watches all the gangs.
So
Yeah,
technically multiverse already existed before Loki, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It really
Just
exists.
that I think
Multi-
Loki created the Loki season or episode you call it created chaos where multiverses are now branching to each other.
Correct.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, correct. It's already multiverse exists, but just like what Loki happened is just created chaos, you know. So yeah, I think Watcher is like, oh, okay, like, because like how his dialogue plays out, it's true. Whatever happens, he cannot do anything. So
Yeah.
whatever Kang is doing, he just have to like, ah, yeah, okay, go on,
Like,
go on.
You have to watch it. Like Kang, why Kang? Why?
yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's jump into the episode lah. So this is where they actually introduce Peggy Carter. But even before that, also when they show, the scene where they show the glass shatter, when the glass shatters into multiverse, Peggy's universe itself has more alternate reality. So it means we can expect a whole lot of different stories going on in Peggy's universe itself. So that is something interesting. So the episode starts as normal. It talks about the war that is going on, and the efforts on battling this. And then we go to the lab. So this is the interesting part. So at the lab, Steve was supposed to be injected with the super soldier serum, but that one shift point, even the Watcher also, like telling a story when Dr. Erkins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perkins.
When he asked Peggy to go to the booth in the movie, she obliges, she goes to the booth to watch. But in this one, she said no, she'll stay down here. So the Watcher, he says, there, this is the one that causes it. So after that, the story changes differently. So we see the Hydra agent, he's also down at the platform instead of in the booth. And then, he explodes the bomb. Dr. Erkins dies in the bomb instead of being shot. And then he shoots Steve. Steve gets injured. And so Peggy decides to, go into the pot to be injected the super soldier serum. So one interesting thing about this scene is the shot by shot of once Peggy enters the pot, it's exactly like the Captain America movie.
Even the
So
lighting and the vials, it was exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Like you can put it side by side and it look just perfect on frame.
Yeah,
Like just perfect on frame.
exactly. So that is like a very nice nod to the original movie, I would say. So and actually before that, there was also like a cameo of Colonel Phillips, played by Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything, but he just in the explosion and everything. And before that, Peggy also shoots the Hydra agent. So there's no necessity of the scene where Steve runs out in the street, jumping on the taxi and everything. She just finishes the job in pop. Actually, in the movie also, she would have done it.
If
She was
Steve,
shooting.
if Steve didn't
Yeah.
push away,
Yeah,
jump on it, drag her away.
yeah, exactly. She would have done a good job. So they showed it in this. So the moment she becomes a super soldier, we jump to the infirmary where they are taking out her blood. So we see a lot of vials of blood over there. It's not only one or two, but there was actually at least 20 vials, I guess. So where are these vials going? So this is a possibility of the reproduction of the super soldier serum. And who knows, maybe, because Thunderbolt Ross also has had the serum and he created the abomination. Maybe with these more vials, because in Captain America they didn't show them taking Steve's blood.
Yeah.
But
Oh, they
in
did.
this-
No,
Huh?
they did. Yeah, they did. Remember, just right after they did but not as how they're showing inside this animated. It's like they show like they are actually taking out the blood. But remember, there was a shot they were just dolling it out. You can see actually he was just taking out one blood. So it happened. It happened.
Okay.
Not, that's why a lot of people can be confused. Like, okay, they're actually taking the blood. That is how they get more vials out, to the society and everything. But they did already in Captain America. But it's like a quick cut lah. It's just like a quick thing. You notice it or you don't notice it. That's the play out there.
So maybe this could be the ones that appeared in Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Isaiah.
where they recreated Isaiah Bradley. Yeah, true. So and over there we can see a little bit of reality about women discrimination, because during that time, women are not considered as a person of ability. So they were not happy, but she wanted to prove that she can do the job. So in anger, you can see she punches the punching bag, exactly the same how Steve does it in Avengers. The post credit of Captain America, the first Avenger, where he punches the bag until it flies to the wall. And the part where she steps on the weight disc and takes and throw it, that is a nod of Captain America. I think in the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier,
Yeah, in the elevator, he just taps the shield. But then, what bugs me a bit is that I don't think Captain America Steve Rogers was portrayed as that strong, where he can just carry the weight and just throw it. But then they showed Peggy to be very strong. So, but we'll jump more into that. I think there's a lot more to talk about that, and I'll get your opinions for that as well. So we have Steve that is injured and he's recovering, and that kind of portrays how Rhodey was when he was injured, when Tony was helping him. And Tony built Rhodey a War Machine suit, and Steve gets the Hydra Stomper suit. So it's something like the same vibe. And then we see their love spark, where Peggy says you haven't found the right dance partner, and then the eyes blink and everything. So the love spark moment over there, same like from the movie. So then it quickly cuts to Johann Smith, where he drives his Hydra Roadster, which is the modified Mercedes-Benz. So the same as the movie, the logo, the Hydra logo comes close.
The exact same shot again.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
And now here's the interesting thing about Johann Smith, because as we all know, Hugo Weaving acted as the Red Skull in the first movie. But then when it came to Infinity War, when he was at Vormir, that wasn't Hugo Weaving, because Hugo Weaving hated acting as a Red Skull because of the stress with the costume and everything. He didn't want to do it. So the person who acted as the Red Skull in Infinity War, he is portrayed by Ross Marquand. Okay, and this same actor voiced Johann Smith in What If. So it's like going around. This person plays back that character. So we have Johann Smith in the church, which the person was protecting the Tesseract. You'll see the Yggdrasil tree.
Yeah, correct.
For a second, I thought you were speaking Tamil there.
The World Tree lah, World Tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, kudos to Jess for attempting the pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll give you B minus lah.
Thank you. So you will see Johann Smith, like slowly caressing the wooden parts. But then this is the part where they show something that wasn't in the movie, which is a circle with a square in the middle, which represents a tesseract. And then at that time we didn't realize, but it was a foreshadowing moment. You see the tentacles.
Correct.
Yeah, so at that time it looked like 3 veins or something, but yeah, it's actually tentacles over there. So then we cut to Captain Carter, Steve, and the other general. I forgot what's his name. Not general. Howard Stark. They are looking at a book and they were reading about the Tesseract. Okay, here's the interesting thing. In that book, at the top of the Tesseract, there were Norse words written on it. Okay,
Again.
But then at the bottom, what?
Again. We're saying Norse words again and again and again. I think it's going to mean something later.
Yeah. I feel like Norse mythology plays a very big role, especially with Loki and all.
Loki, we had Wanda. What else?
Thor.
So,
The Thor all Norse, like total, everything's Norse.
Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
we're seeing Norse a lot. I think
Yeah.
it's going to mean somewhere for something. I don't know.
Probably gonna
Bullshit.
start from Norse mythology. Lah.
Yeah.
It plays a big role. But then at the bottom of the diagram, the words were actually Latin. And in Latin, it actually says the hypercube in the true shape of the space stone. So this states that they acknowledge that there is a space stone in the hypercube, but this was not mentioned anywhere in the movie. No one knew that there was a stone in the tesseract, but this book says it. So it means it implies that it is a known knowledge. Humans know that this was a stone, and why we can relate it, because if you look at the eye of Agamotto, that was a passed down knowledge, and they knew that it was a time stone. So maybe there was knowledge about the space stone, but then it was like a long lost sort of knowledge, so people didn't know. But yeah, it's kind of weird because they have the text over there.
Yeah, no, for me, I think that most of the sorcerers, maybe because we never really go deep into Doctor Strange, and what is the history behind sorcerers and all that. So, like for me, I think they would have had knowledge on all this, because I think Doctor Strange to a certain extent has knowledge on the stones itself, So, but of course, the main one that they're protecting was the time stone. But I think they had knowledge. So I think, yeah, if you go deeper into Doctor Strange, maybe we can find out the origins of how humans came to know about the stones and things like that. So it's quite a, how to say, like I wouldn't say Easter egg, but like a hint. Okay, they maybe we will explore this in the future. In future films, we might just like refer back to this.
Maybe not
Yeah.
Doctor Strange lah. I think Ancient One will be more practical, cause like Doctor Strange is considered intern in there, so.
Yeah. But what I mean is like the Doctor Strange.
Ancient One lah, she's been.
storyline lah.
Yeah. Ancient
yeah.
One lah, she's been there for a long time. I mean, she's the one who explained to Banner also about the whole taking out the stones, putting it back is going to create some time of chaos. So like,
Actually,
yeah.
sorry.
No, I was about done already.
Okay. Since you mentioned that, I think everyone in Kamatach knew about this, because if you watch Doctor Strange, Wong actually introduces the Infinity Stones to Stephen Strange. He actually shows like some kind of holographic mystical diagram with the Infinity Stone. So it means they had knowledge of that.
Yeah. But it's just that they, how they had the knowledge, who had the first knowledge, why suddenly they had the time stone, why they call it the Eye of Agamotto, like those kind of things. Maybe I don't know if they will ever tell us, because the Infinity Saga is basically over. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think that the what if episodes, like the reason why the book has maybe the Latin words and everything, because I feel like the producers and the directors, they can actually fix previous movies plot holes, problems and everything, so they can add the extra. See, you never know, maybe in the Captain America movie, this book, this knowledge was already there, but it just, they didn't show it to us, or it didn't just play out. But now with the what if, they can safely say that the book was there, but now you are seeing it. You know what I mean? So they can just fix the what if. You can just branch out in so many ways. You can say, okay, this happened before, but we are showing you now, because what if happening different universe. So people who can't understand, they can understand now. So many things they can play out. They can have fun with what if, actually. So many things they can do.
Yeah. And also, Eric, if you want to know about Agamotto's origin, go look up Avengers 1000 BC.
I mean, we cannot really
it won't relate lah.
Relate lah, because like they changed. I mean, they are literally creating their own universe right now. They're not even using comic references. I mean, they're using it as a basis of like what's right and what's wrong, or how crazy we can go, and how we need to make sure that this hero, this character can relate to the next character we're about to do. That's their only basis. But other than that, they are doing so much different things. So many different things.
Real world scenarios, like they just borrow a lot of the things from the comics, so to make sure that
So it's like we can't really follow lah. Like that's the thing that a lot of people follow, and then they come up with crazy theories and stuff like that, and then in the end, Marvel just Tells you
Trash.
no, yeah. Tells you no.
Agreed.
We are creating our own universe. That's why we call it MCU.
Eric is a traumatized kid, guys. Please.
With so much of hope.
No, because I remember that time where they changed it from Marvel to Marvel. That was when they actually announced like we are going MCU. Then
Yeah.
everybody was like, okay, we are not following comics. Okay, we get it.
Mm.
Because I think they also were pissed like, hey, why you not following comics? Like everybody must be asking them, why you not following comics?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Moving on, we see Howard giving Peggy the Captain Britain suit. So it has the Union Jack flag along with the shield, and she uses it on her first mission where she confronts Hydra in Berlin itself, which I think Captain America didn't do, but this was like a smart move. She confronted them there because Anim Zola was holding the Tesseract. And we have one really cool fight scene. But then again, this is the part what I was talking about. Peggy Carter was portrayed at least 5 times stronger than Steve Rogers because she did a lot of things that Steve Rogers could barely do. So, what do you guys think about that?
Like to me, I think the only logic we can think about is like Steve was a normal guy who wanted to join the military, while Peggy was actually an agent already. So she probably had the moves, she had the skills, she know what to do, she had the combat experience, stuff like that. So that could be the age lah. But I agree with you. Like it's a bit too much. Like she just had the powers, and
Yeah.
she just goes like ham, and then she's like, oh shit, I can actually do this. But like who would have thought you be that powerful and then you go like, oh wait, I can do this. Let's do some more. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
For me, I feel like maybe it was more like adrenaline rush that gave her that extra boost, like because she was so excited, like, oh, I can do this, oh, I can do that, So like the adrenaline rush was like so strong that I think it made her extra stronger. But then again, for me, I'm just thinking it's an animated series, so they can go a little bit wild in terms of stunts and things like that. So yeah, but it's a good touch, like to show is how Marvel is portraying that women can do what men can do, if not better, right? So
Yeah, and then I also feel like maybe they do like a bit extra on the action. Maybe they just want to cater the series for children, because children go wild when they see all this. Oh, they can do this, they can do that, and everything. Yeah. So and also what I want to say. Yeah, right before just when he mentioned about the suit already. Since you touched upon the suit, if people are confused, Peggy is actually not Captain Britain. If everyone is thinking, she is called as Captain Carter, but it's a nod to the actual Captain Britain, who is from the comics. His name is Brian Braddock. Yeah, Brian Braddock. He's the Captain Britain. And also, we actually had an Easter egg on his name back in Endgame. When the time heist, when Captain America and Iron Man goes back to the vial, and when Captain America hides inside the room, and then he see Peggy Carter talking to someone, from the other side. She actually mentions his name, saying something, and then she said, "Where is Agent Braddock?" It's a cool Easter egg. So they already like canon the Captain Britain. So it's cool if we could see him somewhere in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Because, Captain Braddock, he actually leads a team of alternate versions of Captain Britain. So maybe he might meet Captain Carter in that. Okay, so moving on. Right after her confrontation with Anim Zola and everything, she goes to save the 107th Battalion. So this is where Bucky is captured, Bucky along with the other team. So interesting thing is, all of these characters are voiced by the same actors that portrayed them. Okay, even Howard Stark and everyone. Only different people was Johan Smith, and also I forgot to mention Steve himself. So Steve, he wasn't voiced by Chris Evans. He was voiced by Josh Keaton. So who sounded very closely. Yeah, I believe that for a moment, man. So when she goes to save the 107, she has super speed, which is surprising. She runs as fast as a bike, and then she saves the team and everything. And then Steve comes in, so we get an introduction of the Hydra Stomper. Very cute name, Hydra Stomper. Stomp.
Well, it looks very similar to the Ironmonger. Is it from the Iron Man version? I think simply just because back in that years, that is what Howard Stark could actually build from. Not like how Iron Man suit, but from that era, what you can build with a iron suit, you just can build. So it's very close to the Ironmonger. And it's interesting fact that you can actually see the Tesseract is the one power up the suit.
Yeah.
It was when I saw the Hydra Stomper, I was like, this is damn cool, because in the 40s, and then you can build this kind a flying suit. It's basically a flying suit. It was like even the first time when I saw Iron Man, and then when we was building that first what we call Mark 1 inside the cave and all that, it didn't look as cool as this animated one. Like, it could really fly like quite, and even and it's powered by the space stone, where you can see the energy that comes out when he's like blasting the what do you call the helicopter or something. What was
Tank.
the tank and all that. So it was so nice in terms of like okay, Howard Stark, we know he's a true genius lah. Okay, and we know that the genius cell passed down to Tony Stark. You can see that the lineage of the genius and the smartness lah.
I like how Sean exaggerated the genius.
Yeah, I mean, in the 1940s, like the 1940s, for you to do that, like, you have to give credit lah, Howard Stark.
Yes. Anyways, another thing I forgot to mention. There was another nod to the scene when Peggy saves the battalion, right? They burst through the door, shooting and everything. The same scene as from the movie.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, it was damn cool. So when Hydra Stomper is introduced, we actually see Steve inside. So similar with Tony Stark, the heads-up display. It's just that this one is more analog, not digital. So a very nice detail, I would say, the way they did it. So the moment everyone was safe and Hydra Stomper and everything, Steve comes out the Hydra Stomper and say, let's hear it for Captain Carter. And the same thing Bucky said, let's hear it for Captain America.
Yeah.
So that kind of nod. And then Peggy says, okay, we got a war to win, and then we have that montage of Peggy fighting, and then that cool one shot of her jumping on planes and flying in the air.
It's a bit crazy lah, but it's fine because it's animated, but it's a bit crazy if you ask me.
Yeah. I'm just trying to imagine Captain America doing that. I can just imagine him falling and hitting everything.
Yeah.
Because that's what I mostly see. So, but yeah, it was a very cool scene. I would really say that every frame rate was visual art, because they really did a very good job with the lighting, with the color. So it was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, they wanted it to be like a real life 2D lah. That was the goal, because like if you can see like especially in Captain Carter, like certain angles he stands, you can see like light shining on her face and things like that. So it gives that real life sort of a effect, rather than just animated effect. So I think that was what they were going for.
Yeah.
Kudos to the animators. They pulled it off. Very
Kudos
good.
to the animator. Find in the credits later who is the animator.
No, I can see Harun putting a meme already, like kudos.
Now I wonder what meme he's gonna put for that.
Y'all wait lah.
We'll leave the creativity to Harvin lah, the meme lord. So then right after that, we show Johann Smith reveals himself as the Red Skull, and he says that I'm the Third Reich. So because basically the Third Reich was supposed to be Hitler's idea, so he wants to take up the Third Reich. And then we show they show that Peggy enjoys a whiskey, and she says that she can't feel the effect So this can be seen when Captain America he loses Bucky, and when he drinks, he said he can't feel it because of the serum's effect. So another nod. And then Howard and Bucky, they interrupt their kissing moment where they almost kissed. So they went on a mission. So this is the same mission where in Captain America they were going to hijack the Hydra train. So this one they call it Where Eagles Dare. So this is actually a homage to 1968 World War II movie. Same thing also. It was in the Alps, in the snowy mountains, and the movie was called Where Eagles Dare. So yeah, nice nod to it. Once they jump on the train, Bucky falls. So it's like a foreshadowing. But Peggy saves him, and then he said, "You almost ripped my arm off," which would have happened.
There was a saddle to his arm.
Yeah.
Being the Winter Soldier.
But if you have noticed that the character wise of Bucky in this what if he's like more joyful rather than it was a bit more serious in the first episode. He was like cracking jokes, making fun of himself and everything. So the I feel like the what if just suddenly because Peggy turned into Captain Carter, right? So eventually his character also like changed.
No, actually he was very funny and goofy with Steve before Steve's change. He was actually very goofy. He was the one asking Steve like, let's go get girls and go date, popcorns and go games and all. So he was already like that. I think he only changed once he became the Winter Soldier and working for Hydra, and then after that he had to work with his redemption and his sins per se. So I think that was one who changed up. But I think before that he was already that goofy kind of style. That friend in need.
Friend in need, yeah.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Okay, so train scene again. Steve, I wanted to say Captain America. Sorry, Steve apparently dies in an explosion. Peggy mourns for him and everything.
So in that moment, I thought that he would become the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. I also thought the same thing. Okay, what if he became the Winter Soldier? Damn.
Yeah. I also was thinking the same. Like, would he become the Winter Soldier? Like after that? Because someone has to, right? If it's not Bucky.
Yeah, you need to play out differently.
Yeah.
It's either you different from a different person or you don't see Winter Soldier at all.
Initially, I actually thought that Steve would somehow end up to be that interdimensional monster that Red Skull was talking about. Before that itself, Red Skull was already talking that he has someone. He never brought his champion yet. Earth already has a champion, which was Carter, and then he hasn't brought his champion. So I was thinking at that point, okay, supposedly Winter Soldier, but now we don't have Winter Soldier because Bucky didn't fall down.
Yeah.
But Steve died. Steve fell down. So would Steve be Winter Soldier or something else and then becomes the champion? I was like, oh damn, that would be spicy if that happened. But unfortunately, no.
I'm sorry, but all I can imagine is a skinny ass Steve with a skinny ass metal arm.
Hey, who knows? He might have powers from the space stone, right? Like he can send people to space or summon weird tentacles out of the sky or something like that.
Oh, that'll be another what if lah.
Yeah.
So right after Steve dies, Peggy interrogates Zola. So you can see how weak of a character he was, because he said, "I'll never tell you anything," and then he just tells her everything. And here's another note when Peggy points at the map saying that the Red Skull is at Castle Craig. Okay, that's a nod to the Kraken. Okay, because you all know the Kraken is a mythological creature, so octopusy, squiddy creature. So that's a foreshadowing over there. We had two foreshadowings. So then we have another interesting tracking shot, one shot of Peggy entering the castle and then fighting with the guards and then punching the gate open for the battalion to come in. And then we have Howard Stark joining them in. which he never did in the first movie. So they finally confront the Red Skull. So in this at this point, the Red Skull activates the Space Stone, and it opens a portal, and we see a tentacle monster opening out and coming in. And the first thing he did was to kill the Red Skull.
Yeah. No one was expecting that.
Yeah. That guy died a very sad death. I mean, like, you know, for a character to just get crushed and die like that.
But
Okay.
just to clarify, maybe people might not, but the Hydra monster do exist in the comics. There is the Hydra monster in the comic. I forgot what's the name, but people were confused with this being Shumagorath. Shumagorath is another interdimensional being, which is important from the Doctor Strange comics. But there's talks that Shumagorath might appear in Doctor Strange, so we don't know. But what Marvel I think tried to do with this Hydra monster is that it's not directly a Hydra monster. It's just an interdimensional being which looks like a tentacle monster. So it's just like, okay, we just want to bring this in, and it's not a Hydra monster but international. They won't just make things simpler. Like, they don't make it sound like there is a Hydra monster.
International, huh?
International sorry guys, international monster. But they don't want to make it sound like there is a Hydra monster out there. That's why there's a Hydra base back on Earth and everything. That one is a bit off the storyboard already lah. So that's what I think that's what Marvel were trying to do.
The thing is, even though if it's not Shumagorath, because they said there is likely Shumagorath will appear in Doctor Strange, like Harvey mentioned from the Doctor Strange comics. But Shumagorath is not the only tentacle creature, because you know, this tentacle creature is an interdimensional being, right? There's actually a race of these tentacle creatures. They are called the Angle Ones.
Okay.
Okay, they're called the Angle Ones, and then they have different names. They're called the Elder Gods or the Old Ones. So these are like a bunch of old species that are all the tentacly like, and they're all interdimensional beings. So probably it may not be Shumagorath, and Shumagorath is one of them. So maybe it's not Shumagorath who came through the portal, but it's probably one of the Angle Ones.
Yeah, there was also talks that the ones in Guardian of Galaxy Volume 2, the opening, where they all fought the beast and Groot was just dancing all around. Like, that was also how to say, it could, like, people were saying it could be that race or that kind of interdimensional beast or something like that. And I also heard, like what Harvin said, like it's gonna be in Doctor Strange. It's gonna appear in Doctor Strange. And there was also things that I heard that it's gonna appear in What If next episodes, not episode but episodes. Like, we don't know which one. So they might introduce it again. I think if they do, then I think we can really see it coming out in Doctor Strange for some reason.
And I guess correct what Eric said, because when they are in Guardians of the Galaxy, when they confront that beast, right, Gamora actually says it's an interdimensional being that eats Patrice.
Yeah. And the mouth was exactly the same, you know, like the tunnel, and then you have the teeth inside. Grindy teeth.
Grindy, blend. So you know, that creature appears, kills Red Skull, and then the Bucky and the rest of the team went to look for Steve, and then they see Steve is captured, so he's not dead. So they quickly power up his Hydra Stomper suit, and then he flies off, trying to save Peggy. Of course, the battalion runs to safety, and this is when Howard tries to close the portal. Peggy will say, you know, a guy doesn't know how to press a button. Then he says that he hung out with Hedy Lamarr during the weekend, and she didn't teach him German or something. So this is a very respective nod, because Hedy Lamarr was a very famous actress and also a scientist. She co-invented a guiding radio system initially meant for torpedoes. So she actually helped with the war effort quite a lot. So that's a nod over there. Okay, so fight. Peggy sacrifices herself instead of Steve Rogers. So she pushes and pushes the monster into the portal. I feel like she could have just pushed him and run away, but then she decides to go into the portal, and so Steve mourns for her. He's sad and everything. And now here's the interesting thing.
I think
Ah.
before that, before that, there was a thing where remember when she takes the sword. When she takes the sword. Okay, that's a nice Easter egg. There's a nice nod there also. Why? Because it's not an Excalibur sword per se, but it's a nice sword because the Excalibur sword in the comics was wielded by Captain Britain in the comics, and also it was wielded by the Black Knight, which we will see in the Eternals movie played by Kit Harington.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a nice nod there because they wanted to show that maybe eventually the Excalibur sword will come into play in the MCU. So it's a nice nod there.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. So thank you for the pointers, Arvin. I'll keep a lookout for that.
Do your job, Jess.
Sorry. So this is where it gets interesting. We actually see Peggy / Captain Carter appearing in the Shield base. So even before they introduced the Shield base, you could see that panels, the reflective panels. We know that's where Loki appears in Avengers. So when Peggy appears, I'm guessing it's somewhere around 2011 or 2012, right before the Avengers events take place in New York. So Will Smith pula, Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury. He says that the war ended 70 years ago, and Peggy says we won the war. But what she doesn't know, there are other wars waiting, Chitauri and Loki. I'm not sure how it was going to turn out in that universe, but most probably it will go around like that. And also, this is not the end of Peggy Carter, because if you take a look at the trailers for What If, we actually see a scene where Peggy talks to Doctor Strange, the black version, the alternate version. So we are very sure that she's going to appear maybe in the next season or maybe in the next few episodes that are about to come out. And yeah, that is the end of What If Captain Carter was the first Avenger. I was wondering was or were, but I went were.
No, I somewhat have a feeling that they are going to use Captain Carter's decision to decide the whole universe. Like not for this particular What If universe. Maybe there'll be 2 or 3, I don't know. But because the fact that Captain Carter somehow interdimensionally traveled using the Tesseract, that means that Loki didn't come to Earth, and that also means the Chitauri War didn't happen. So I think that kind of things all led to a different thing. Maybe if the Chitauri War didn't happen, then Thanos actually didn't ask Loki to attack Earth. Loki didn't have to, like, it's like a whole mess up thing that leads to like a bigger chain of actions and thing. So I don't know. I think as we go on towards What If, maybe we'll see like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 episodes that relate into one same story, and then we'll see it all mesh up and gel up together, and then it'll make sense lah. And then it'll finally make sense.
Yeah, eventually I think like how to say, I think they're leading up to, because they were like posters, posted out like showing that the guardians of the multiverse, like you can see Captain Carter, you see the dark version of Doctor Strange, you can see Star-Lord, Black Panther Star-Lord, then you can see King Killmonger. That's what they're naming them all. So they become the a version of Avengers, but they call themselves the Guardians of the Multiverse. So I'm not sure. Maybe this Captain Carter is from one universe, and then the Dark Doctor Strange is from another universe. That would make sense for them to call themselves the Guardians of the Multiverse. So because they come from different alternate universe, then somehow or other they become one and they become guardians of the multiverse. So we don't know how it play out. Suddenly you never know, maybe suddenly the Watcher break the rules and he started to interfere a bit, making them into the guardians of multiverse. You don't know how it play out. And also there is a question mark there. How did Peggy end up in fast forward into the years? Because I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel the space stone supposed to work like a bridging, like you go from one A to B. That's all. You just from a year to same year, but then it just from year to that. But this one is like 70 years gap, from 70 years before, then you 70 years, but then you come as the same thing. So how suddenly this thing play out? So it become more like a space and time stone. You fast forward into the future. So where did it bring you?
I
So
think.
there's a question.
Sorry, Havin, but I think maybe like the interdimensional tentacle monster had something to do with that time traveling thing. Like I think lah, because I don't think the Tesseract can alter time. It can only alter your space. Maybe that monster had something to do with it. I don't know because that's the only difference, right? Moving from point A to point B through the Tesseract.
Yeah.
So it has to be the monster lah. The monster has something to do with it, or maybe the monster had some time stones in his tentacles or something, and then.
And also, in fact, when she come out from the portal, also you can actually hear Samuel Jackson say, like, Nick Fury says, "Ma'am, please put down the sword." But then in the first Avengers movie, he actually says to Loki, "Sir, please put down the spear."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after you see Clint Barton saying, "This is Captain Carter." That means the history has already played out. They know who is she. This is Captain Carter. It's already played out, but now only she's coming into the current future. So, and of course we all know that the voice also played by Sam Jackson, also Jeremy Renner. So we'll see what if has for us in the upcoming episodes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the question mark in what if is always leaving us with cliffhangers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, keep guessing, guys. Just keep guessing.
Yeah, that's the whole point of what if. For me, my take about Peggy coming into the future, because although the space stone acts as a teleportation device, but space and time are very closely related. They're very relative together. So if you travel to a certain point in space, you are basically also traveling in time. So maybe that is what caused her to come into the future. This has been proven by Albert Einstein itself.
Okay.
That is
Wow.
Professor Jas. Professor
Wow.
Jas.
Someone please edit a monocle for him on his eyes.
E equals to MC squared.
Then I think the upcoming episode, but you see how they are moving, pacing out. The upcoming episode, I think, is going to be the Black Panther episode, not the Black Panther, but T'Challa getting kidnapped by the Ravagers, and then she's going outer space. So you see now we got like the series like, starting from the 1940s like that, but now we start moving on to another. That shows. But actually, it's very important for everyone to remember the plot lines and storylines from the previous movies, because what they're doing with the What If series is they're moving in a speed run episode. That means they want you to know, okay, please remember what you all have watched, but they are just minor things. What will happen? What if happened? What are the consequences? But the mirror episode, like how we broke down the episodes for Captain Carter right now, you can see everything is almost identical to what we see, but there are things which play out differently. So when some people were like, why suddenly this is happening? Why is this happening? Speed run. Okay, so everyone should try to not get confused and just try to remember the previous movies context.
Yes. So just as long you follow the MCU and enjoy the show, it's good enough.
Yeah.
And there's always videos and podcasts like us explaining. So if you ever feel lost, you can wait for our second one when we drop. We drop it.
Don't worry.
Drop it like it's hot. Yeah. Anyways, yes. Your cue.
Yeah, and that is the end of our podcast. So our final takeaway is, it was an interesting episode. We get to see a different version of Peggy Carter, and as we were talking about what this will build up to, other characters to be involved and everything. It's going to be really exciting because What If is a 10 episode series, and the first episode is it 10 episode? Did I say it wrong?
I wanted to correct you. They said it's 9. They say it's 9.
Oh, okay. They cut one. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a 9 episode series, 30 minutes per episode. So I think we can enjoy every single episode we watch. So if you guys have anything else that we missed out, anything extra, do leave it in your comments. We'll be really happy to actually to discuss this. Maybe in our next episode and also within ourselves. So we are hoping that you guys enjoyed, and you got a little bit more info than what you used to know, and also please like and subscribe our channel. And this is the Geek Street. The street has spoken.
Ciao.
Bye bye.